James Harrison. We're going to try the part 2 or lesson 2 on interpreting shuffles. Today we're going to play a 16th note shuffle type pattern, and we're going to use a sticking of right, left, left, right, which is an inverted paradiddle. Now, for some reason, my metronome's shorting out, so sometimes I can't read it, but we're going to give it a try. This is about 80, okay? So 16th notes. That inverted paradiddle, right, left, left, right, right. Okay, learn to be able to play those 16th notes with a slight shuffle to that feel, okay? A lot of people will call that a tight shuffle, okay? Now, I'm going to slow it way down, and I'll show you why it can be important. Okay, that should be 60. Like I said, the light's flickering off and on. So 60 is pretty slow. So that tempo, that could be a swing feel, depending on when you hear all the other instruments playing, where a triplet might sound too open, you know, something like this. Okay, where that 16th shuffle might feel better. The slower you get, the more you're going to find that that 16th shuffle sometimes will do a better job, because the triplets, when they get too slow, it takes the swing away. Sometimes you hear the blues players play all triplets versus this, but they might do something like, which is more of that 16th feel. And then, of course, you can play it faster. Now, there's a point where it's not going to sound good. I'm going to try to get the metronome up to 100. I think that's there. Okay. Kind of a similar breaking point where it'll start to be a tight shuffle if I triplet. 60. Okay, and as I get super fast, the triplet becomes way more important. Okay, this is not super fast, but here's 120. Triplet. So that sounds more relaxed there. If I get faster, let's try to put it about 140. Very tight shuffle, almost like a Dixieland type shuffle triplet. Very open. So my point in these lessons, as we get to where we combine it, is you'll see that the faster that you go, from the medium to the fast, the triplet has a better feel. When you start to go super slow, that 16th comes in and almost starts to feel a little more swung, because it moves the notes closer together instead of being too far apart. and you get that. So it's something you can try, and you can find your limits. I'll put it up just to see what happens. Here's 160. So. A doable tempo, triplet. Grooves much better there. The slow tempo, it kind of shifts. So that's the point of these exercises. So if you'll take the triplet as a right, left, right, right, and a 16th, and find through the metronome where it starts to groove for you, and then apply that to the drum set, you'll see what's going to settle best for the other players. Most of the time it's going to be a triplet feel, but there's times where the tempo gets too fast or too slow for the triplet, and it's too open, and a 16th might sound better. And then sometimes, depending on the type of shuffle you're playing, where they want that tight shuffle, and a tight shuffle is going to be more of a 16th. It may not seem like I'm doing that, but if I hopefully you can hear that difference. Now we're just dealing with a pad right now. We'll get to where we put it on drum set and we'll see what happens.